Good afternoon, Lancaster. Welcome to Lancaster Connects, the show where we have conversations with awesome people doing really amazing things here in the community of Lancaster. In a few minutes, we're going to bring on today's guests. We got two guests representing the Ephrata Police Department and the newly formed Ephrata Friends of the Ephrata Police Foundation. So we're excited to bring them on and have a great conversation with all that they're doing in the community of Ephrata here in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. So again, this is Lancaster Connects. Again, it's our way of giving back as business owners of Gardner's Mattress and More. I don't even know the name of our business. Gardner's Mattress and More is a business I co-own with my business partner, Jeff Giannakovo. Taking a leave of absence for the short term here. Hopefully he's back with me soon. Miss the banter. But anyway, Gardner's has been in Lancaster since 1990, helping people wake up happy every morning. He and I have co-owned the business for coming up on 15 years, which is like actually entering our 15th year. 2011 May is when we moved to our current location and became business owners. So, been a wild ride, growing and, impacting people's sleep in Lancaster County every day. And we'll talk more about that at the end of our show, share some testimonials from some of our happy sleepers, highlight some members of the Gardner's team. But again, this is our way to give back. Lancaster Connects is, again, it's highlighting nonprofits, charitable organizations, community benefit organizations that give back to the community in some way, shape, or form. Other small businesses we like to highlight, businesses like Gardner's Mattress and More that has a way to give back to the community. We love sharing those types of stories. We love seeing how the community is helping each other. It's really cool. I think this is episode 186, maybe. So there's a lot of episodes out there. A lot of great conversations, again, with wonderful people doing amazing things in this community of Lancaster. You can watch past episodes at lancasterconnects.com/episodes. All episodes are on there. You can find us on YouTube. Just type in Lancaster Connects YouTube. Give us the subscribe button, a like, or a click. I guess a click. Facebook, of course, we're streaming live on Facebook as well, both on the Gardner's Mattress and More and the Lancaster Connects Facebook channels. Like us on Facebook. If you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, actually both count. You can give us a little chat message, say hello in the chat or the comments. If you have a question for our guest, please, by all means, ask a question. We love that. When we can interact with our fans, our watchers, our listeners. And we can put those comments and questions up to our guests. So I love that. If you would like to be a guest on Lancaster Connects, that's the last thing. Again, if you have a story to tell, you represent an organization, you have a small business where you give back, go to lancasterconnects.com/guest, or just hit the webpage, hit the homepage, and at the top you'll see "Be a Guest" as a link, as a menu tab. Click that. Fill out the simple form, tell us who you are, the organization you represent, and why you'd like to be on the show. We'll review that and get you on the show. I'm excited to announce we're booked out through May, like I think almost through Memorial Day. Obviously, we have a whole year's worth of shows to book, so definitely get you into the summer. If you're somebody who would like to share your story in Lancaster Connects, we'd love to be a vehicle for you to tell that story. So again, lancasterconnects.com/guest, simple form. Let us know you'd like to be on the show and we'll get you on. All right. That's enough about Lancaster Connects and about Gardner's and about us. Let's bring our guests on. We've got some awesome guests today. We've got Chris McKim on the left in the uniform. Hey, Chris.
Hello. Thanks for having us on here.
Yeah. Thanks for being here. And we've got Steve Aronson on the right in the suit jacket. How are you?
Good to see you. Thank you again.
Yeah. Thanks for being here, guys. Chris, I'll just start with you. You represent the Ephrata Police Department. I'm assuming with the uniform on. Is that correct?
That's correct. I'm the Chief of Police for Ephrata. We cover the borough of Ephrata, Ephrata Township, West Cocalico Township, and Adamstown Borough as our primary jurisdictions.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Awesome. Excited to hear more about the great things you got going on in the borough of Ephrata there. And Steve, you're representing I want to make sure I say it right. The Friends of the Ephrata Police Foundation, the newly formed organization. Is that correct?
That is absolutely correct. Yes, I'm president of the organization. We became official as of January 1st. We are a nonprofit charitable organization to support the police department here in Ephrata.
That's great. So let's jump right into that part of it. So, let's start from the beginning. Like, what inspired the creation of, again, Friends of the Ephrata Police Foundation? What inspired the beginning of that?
Well, there's the police department is extremely well equipped, and they're well organized, well trained. But my opinion is that you really can't have too many tools in the bag uh, for protecting the citizens of the communities that the police department protects. We want to help them go to the next level, and there are certain projects, certain items that are above and beyond the budget allowed for by the boroughs and townships that the police protects. So our organization intends to work with the police chief and the police department to obtain some of these items that will take them to the next level. We will raise the funds privately to pay for these items, and it will relieve the burden from the taxpayers of the communities from having to purchase those items.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, it exists in our business. I'm sure it exists in every organization everywhere. Like that conversation of, if we only had an unlimited budget, or if we only had X amount of dollars, we could do this and we could do that, and we could. Chris, I'm sure there's a laundry list of things that that you could do or would want to do if the funds were unlimited, right?
Of course, law enforcement, any police department is a very large portion of a municipal budget. It's very expensive, and so it's important for us to be good stewards of the money that the municipality authorizes, because that's on the backs of the taxpayers. That comes, that comes through tax collection. So we want to be very good stewards of that. So we're very, very careful when we budget to make sure that we're asking for the things that are necessary. And sometimes there are things that we believe are necessary that we simply can't afford. And in Ephrata, we're very blessed. We have a good budget. We're well trained. We're well equipped. We're very well supported by the government here. So no complaints there. But every now and again, there's things that come up that we could use that probably shouldn't come out of the taxpayers' pockets.
What are some of those? So I'm obviously on the outside looking in, right? I don't know what are some of those things that are on the list that aren't part of the budget that the Friends can help with.
Well, very recently, the Friends approved a purchase of some Stop the Bleed kits. And it's more than just a regular Stop the Bleed kit that you might find in a church or at a business somewhere. These are more or less trauma kits. The foundation's buying 2 of them for us, and they include a number of, say, tourniquets. It's a tough thing to talk about, of course. When tragedy hits, we want to be ready. And oftentimes the police can be at a spot before any medical personnel or any other support, because we're out and about, we're patrolling. And if we have the ability to stop people from bleeding out on the scene, we can save way more lives and buy some time for the medical people to come help.
Wow. Okay.
You're looking at an example right there, Ben. The picture above,
yeah,
that was a medical save. That's Kevin Wolf in the middle from the Ephrata Ambulance Association.
Okay.
And he brings us certificates when officers perform CPR or AED and manage to get a save out of it.
Wow. Yeah, it's obviously you guys are first on the scene, the EMTs and fire fire departments, but from a citizen standpoint, you don't really think of the tools and things that are needed, but obviously life-saving equipment is imperative. You have to have those things, and if it's not part of the budget, it's good that this organization exists to help with those assistance with those items.
I'm very grateful.
Yeah. So, Steve, let's talk a little bit about the foundation itself. You're the president, I think you said.
That's correct.
Yep. And there's I'm sure other board members as part of the organization.
Well, I'm very proud of the group of citizens, primarily business and community leaders that have volunteered to be part of our organization. If you don't mind, I'm going to mention their names and their titles. We have, I want to make sure I don't miss anybody. Our vice president is Steve Rapp. Steve is the owner of Dentech Industrial and also the Iron Spire Complex out towards Adamstown. Our secretary is Abby Balmer, who is the executive director at the Ephrata Public Library. Our treasurer is Rob Rohrbach, who is the owner of the Green Dragon Farmers Market. Our board members are Jeff Stauffer, who's president of Ephrata National Bank, John Stevens, the attorney, who is one of the owners of Gardner and Stevens, Jan Minnick, one of the owners of the Dutch Made Deck out on 272 by the hospital, Josh Gluck, president of the Duple Insurance Agency here in Ephrata, Lisa Lesko, who's a senior director, ambulatory clinical services for WellSpan Hospital. And then we just recently brought on a gentleman by the name of Steve DeWeese. Steve is recently retired and was a senior program manager and consultant for the federal government down in Washington. So we've got a really well-rounded board, and they're just so enthusiastic. They're so committed, and they recognize and want to acknowledge what the police department has done, not only for the community, but for their own individual businesses as well. So I put our board up against anybody's. I mean, not that I'm bragging or anything about our team,
Yeah, right.
But it's a team effort. And they're, like I said, they're totally committed. And they've already proven to go above and beyond.
It's an all-star
awesome.
cast for sure.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
So key initiatives that you've been able to, or maybe programs that you've been able to put in place. I know it's only been a short period of time since, we're only 2.5 months maybe into the year. What are some of the things you've been working on? I mean, we heard from Officer Chris here, or Chief Chris, Chief McKim. That's probably what I should be saying here. My apologies.
Chris is just fine.
Yeah. All right. The life-saving kits that the friends have been able to purchase. What are some other initiatives that you're working on together as a board?
Well, just dwelling on that for just 1 second, the kits are extremely important because, as you know, the police are on the street 24/7. We're blessed with wonderful fire department and first aid services here in the greater Ephrata area. Again, I'd put them up to anybody. They're second to none. However, the siren goes off. The guys had to get dressed. They go from home. They get on the truck, and they go to the site of whatever the emergency might be. Where the police most often are on the scene before an ambulance or first aid or someone from the fire department. So these kits will enable them to take care of whatever needs to be taken care of at that particular moment until the ambulance or the trained professional first aid folks will be on site. But some of the other projects that we have on our radar involve things like, we're looking right now at the potential of getting a canine officer. There are no canine officers in northern Lancaster County, and the chief can speak more on that. But it's a rather large cost. The dog itself is somewhere in the vicinity of $13,000 to $17,000 for procuring a trained dog and training the officer that will be the handler for the dog. But the big cost is really a specialized vehicle that the dog would be in while he's on duty. So it has to have a special cage. It has to have special temperature controls for obviously the extreme heat in the summer and the cold in the winter. And it also has a number of accessories that you obviously wouldn't find on your home car. Let's say the officer does not get out of the car, or I'm sorry, the dog doesn't get out of the car every time the officer does. Let's say it's a routine traffic stop, but something goes hinky and he needs the dog. So he would be able to press a button on his vest or on his belt. The door would pop open and the dog would go. Because I'm assuming, and again, I'm not a police officer. I'm not trained in canine operations, but I got to believe that dog has his eyes on the handler every minute that he's in the vehicle or they're together. So That's our next major project, or really our first major project, to raise those kind of funds. So we've got some fundraisers in the works. We have a golf tournament that we're going to be hosting in September. So we have some other fundraisers that we're going to be planning. But if I could just go one step further and say that our foundation is not merely to raise funds for the police department, but we also plan on doing some goodwill type of things that and aid the police in planning things like bicycle rodeos, bicycle inspections for children, potentially child car seat inspections. The police department would do it. The foundation would set it up and sponsor it. And there's a number of other things to generate goodwill and spread a little bit more of the word for positivity for the police department. We've been very blessed in this community to not hear some of the nonsense about defund the police or the police are bad guys. I mean, you hear it, around the country, unfortunately, and they certainly don't deserve it here. In most cases, I'm going to stick my neck out and say they don't deserve it elsewhere. But their main function is to do their jobs. We want to help to promote them. We want them to know that the community is behind them at all times.
And the community here has been absolutely stunning as to their support, not just of the Friends Foundation, but in general of the police department. You couldn't ask for a better or more supportive community. I'm very happy to be part of it. And I always say the community loves us and we love them right back. And having the Friends Foundation is another way for us to make other ways to connect with them.
That's great. That's great. So going back to the canine department. So, Chief, it's something that you don't have now, having canine as part of your unit. And I know there were some bullet points on the website that Chris was scrolling through. What does that allow you to do as a force? Like, what are you missing by not having a canine unit, and what does that allow you to do in the future if you're able to have a canine unit?
Well, dogs, by their nature, have some stronger senses than human beings have. Everybody knows that the dogs can smell better. I don't know that anybody realizes exactly how much better, but it's a lot. So there are things that a dog can become aware of that a police officer wouldn't be able to become aware of. For instance, if we stop a car that appears to be suspicious and the officer suspects maybe there's some drug trafficking going on, a trained dog can help us with that by doing a sniff around the car and see if there's any unlawful drugs in the possession of the driver. We can help with tracking. In the case that we're looking for, the kind of dog that we're looking for would be a dual purpose animal that is both for drug interdiction and also for criminal apprehension. And that means they can sniff out the bad guy in a dark house, for instance. And that allows us to search a house and apprehend somebody without putting the officers at a tactical disadvantage by sending them into a dark building where they can't see or smell anywhere near the way that a dog could smell. Dogs can locate evidence in the middle of a giant field, article searches and things like that. So that's the tactical side of things as far as drug investigations, criminal apprehension, locating evidence. But they can also create a bridge to the community as well, and in some cases, a bridge to the marginalized portions of the community. Some of the kids that might have special needs. Oftentimes, a dog really brings them together with people in uniform. We can take it to retirement homes and build a bridge there with folks who haven't been at their best for a while, and or maybe ailing in some way, and that's
Right.
a way to bridge the gap as well.
That's amazing. So to this point, the police department hasn't had the funds to have a canine officer as part of the force, but with the help of the Friends of the Ephrata Police Foundation, you hopefully will have that maybe within the next year. That would be amazing.
Yeah, we'd be really pleased with that. It has gotten to the point in some cases where people ask us why we don't have a dog. And since now the council who does approve these things seems to have an appetite for it, I believe it's an idea whose time has come.
Yeah. And then would it require, I think, Steve, you mentioned a handler. So the officer that would have the canine officer as part of their vehicle, right? Is that a special level of officer? I just don't know what I don't know.
Sure, it's a specialized it's a specialized position that does require it requires a lot of additional work and commitment to the borough and to the police department and to the dog. So there would be a selection process when we talk about that. It's not as if we just bring a dog in and hand it off to whatever cop raises their hand. But so there will be a selection process. You have to pick the right officer. They have to have the right temperament, and you match them with the right kind of animal as well. There, three main categories of canines for police, and they have different ups and downs for all of them. So once you select your handler and then you put them together, you match them as if pairing at a restaurant. You pair them with the right animal and you try to make it a good match.
Oh, that's awesome. I mean, that would be amazing. What are there other communities around the area that have a canine officer? I'm sure Lancaster City does.
The closest community to us is Lidditz, which is several miles away. None of the jurisdictions that we are adjacent to or butt up against, none of them have a canine program. And that brings me to another point, that we would certainly make that animal available and the handler available to any other department or any other need for public safety in our not just our service area, but in our region. So it's a matter of intermunicipal cooperation there too.
Yeah, I was going to suggest that, or ask that if that would be something that can happen, because if it's a benefit to you, it's a benefit to the surrounding communities as well. That's awesome. Steve, you mentioned the golf tournament as a way to raise funds. What are some other ways we could talk about the golf tournament, but what are some other ways that you're engaging with the community to raise funds, raise awareness of the need, of course, for these things for the police department? But how else are you raising funds?
Well, at various events, we will be participating. For example, Adamstown Days, they have something in their park. We'll have a booth set up. Perhaps have McGruff, the police dog. The Ephrata Police has one of the McGruff dogs. Will be with us. We intend to be at the Ephrata Fair, and we'll be serving some type of food or something that we haven't made a final determination on that yet. But and then we'll be doing things like perhaps maybe not the first year, but we'll be doing a gala and an awards presentation for the police department as well. So we're gonna do as much community involvement as we possibly can, and just create an awareness. We've had a lot of people inquire about the dog. We are going to be speaking with a number of the civic organizations like the VFW and Lions Club and Rotary Club and so forth, who also are very generous with funds that they donate to organizations like ours and other very worthwhile organizations in the community for projects like this. So we've got a number of things on the horizon. Just recently, actually, our first project, we've had a series of community meetings stressing safety in neighborhoods, like a neighborhood watch kind of program, where people came to our meetings. The chief held a session, just talking about being safe, locking your car, watching out for your neighbor. So we want to foster neighborly relations. I know when I first moved in, it took a long time to get to know your neighbors. So there's so many benefits to getting engaged with our organization and the police department support that will be beneficial from things in ways that people just don't normally think about.
We also might try to get the word out by doing a podcast once in a while.
Yeah.
There you go. Well, I got a guy for you.
Outstanding.
Chris from Cat's Head Productions is the absolute best. Don't go anywhere else. So couple things. Chris has, some web pages that he's been scrolling through and some social media stuff. I know the newly formed organization has a new website, FOEPF.org, friends of the Ephrata Police Foundation.org. So that would be a good place to connect with the organization, see what's going on. Maybe you'll have events listed on this website, news, that sort of thing.
Yes, we intend to have a separate page for our upcoming events. Again, we just went live with our webpage not even a week ago, and still requires a little bit of work, but it's going to have a lot of information that that'll cross over with the police department. And we intend to hopefully get the other first responding organizations like the two Ephrata fire departments and also the fire departments in the other municipalities that the police department protects and first aid squads, and kind of have an opportunity to share our website with them so they can promote their events as well. So,
oh, that's great. That's great. And I know you have Facebook set up and Instagram. I know the police department does. Does the foundation have those social media?
not yet, but
Getting there.
we're working on it. We're working
Yep.
on it. Hopefully, by the 1st of
great.
June, we'll have all those in place.
That's awesome. So that would probably be the best place to see news,
Yes.
things going on in the community, things going on with the police department, updates on the K9 officer,
Yes.
announcement of the golf tournament, all of that. That's
In the
great.
meantime, we'll share it on the Ephrata Police Facebook page.
There you go. There you go. So give the Ephrata police page a like, share all of that stuff. What's the best way? So for people watching or people that will watch it in the future, people in the Ephrata community, people in Lancaster County in general, what are ways that they can support the police department and support the foundation?
Well, you support the police department outside of the foundation by being good witnesses, being good citizens, paying attention, that sort of thing. You support the police department through the foundation by volunteering. We need people to volunteer their time and their efforts. And we do also naturally accept donations as well. So you can go to the website there and sign up and let us know how you want to help.
So is that on the police department website?
No, that'll be on the foundation website.
That'll be on the foundation website. So either you can donate through the foundation website. Obviously, financial donations, you'll take them. You can't get a K9 officer without some funding. But volunteering is you said that first before the money. What type of volunteer opportunities will exist?
Well, being that we're going to be involved in a number of activities, people who have skills that can help at things like the golf tournament and some of our fundraisers. I should have brought in with me. We have a sign that says "We support the Ephrata Police." That it's a lawn sign that are available in the community for a $10 donation, and we have sites in the community here where that can be purchased. So people who can help us with that, people who can help at the fair, at the booth, because the fair runs 6 days, and we'll need people to work the booth at the fair. People who will work the other activities like the bicycle rodeos and so forth. And what you have on the screen right there, if you can just go to that on our website and fill out the form and send it in, someone will contact you within 48 hours at the most. We intend to have a community meeting. We will announce that on the Facebook page for the police department. And also, we've gotten a lot of support from the Ephrata Review and the shopping news here in town. And we'll announce a community meeting where people who want to volunteer, who want to get involved, can come to the meeting, learn more about the organization, and sign up to become a volunteer for us.
And if I could stick my nose in here for a second, I don't want to forget. We do get a lot of help from the community, from the newspaper, from lots of great businesses. But we got a huge boost in how to make this happen from the West Lampeter Township Police Department's foundation. They have a Friends of the Force Foundation down there that we're modeling ourselves after. And Chief Brian Wiskowski of the West Lampeter Township, they came to our meeting to kind of give us some pointers and give us some support. So I got to give a shout out to those folks. I would hate to forget something like that.
Yeah, Jim.
That's awesome. In fact,
Culp. I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say,
Go ahead.
Jim Culp, I wanted to pass his name on too. Jim is the president of their Friends organization down there. And he's been extremely helpful, shared things like their bylaws and their mission statement and so forth, so that we can had a roadmap and made our ability to get up and running much more quickly.
I was wondering if the foundation was modeled after or based out of an idea you saw another police force do or community do. So that's cool. It's really neat when you can learn from somebody else that's already been through it and maybe has worked through the struggles, and then have them be willing to share with you kind of the playbook for how to make it a success right out of the gate. You probably in the community softball game between the two forces, you're not sharing any secrets there, right? But
I do have my limits.
yeah, right. So I wanted to ask, Chief, what challenges does the police force face, either in Ephrata or just maybe in general, that the foundation can maybe help with?
Well, aside from the budgetary things, and I again, I don't want to create an impression here that the borough is not funding us. They do well. So in being good stewards of that, we can go above and beyond with the help of the foundation. Uh, One of the most important things that a police department can have and manage is the public trust. You have to, you sort of can't go anywhere else you can't shop for police departments, or at least not individually. You can't. So when you call us, it's going to be the Ephrata Police, and we need to make sure that you know us, that you trust us, and that we know you. We need to get to know our community before we need to know the community. And that's one of the things that's really helping here with Steve's doing a great job of creating events for us to mix it up with the community. And I'm very glad that we've had some attendance.
I loved what you just said there. They need to know you before they need to know you. Is that the way you said it?
Our job's to know our community before we need to know our community.
Yeah, I mean, that says it all right there.
It's proactive. We try to build and maintain a relationship. And, we do that anyway. We try to do that anyway when we have opportunities. But to have a volunteer like Steve and other members of this organization, the Friends, to sort of put way markers as we go. Hey, can we do a coffee for the cops or coffee with cops? Can we do a bike rodeo? And just sort of spurring it along. It's much better to have an enthusiastic volunteer sort of making that happen.
Well, and that makes sense, because I mean, I know in our business, like, you just get so wrapped up sometimes in what you're doing inside of these four walls, you might maybe forget about some of the other things that you could do to, do things in the community and whatnot. And Chief, I'm sure you're probably the same way. You've got a whole list of responsibilities that might not really, be the first thing on the list is, hey, we got to, get the word out in the community. And that's where the Friends of the Ephrata Police Foundation can step in and kind of either be that reminder or be, kind of bridge that maybe gap that sometimes exists. I love that.
To translate that over to your world and the business world, we are their marketing team.
There you go. I love it. So, what else, Steve, on the, like, goals for the rest of the year? I mean, I know you're brand new. You're only a couple months in, but goals for the rest of the year. Maybe a longer term goal, 3, 5 years, 10 years. What does the foundation look like?
Well, we've had some discussions with our board. It's difficult at this point to project what the needs are going to be in the future. We have a number of items. There are some other things that is on the chief's wish list. One of which, just if I can mention one or two more, is you as you ride down the street and you see these electronic signs that are posted on telephone poles that tells you how fast over the speed limit you're going. That's on our list of items for potentially purchasing for them going forward. Things like extra batteries, backup batteries for their two-way radios. So we have a few other things in the mix, but just tackling the enormous amount of money, and that sounds kind of not the right way I wanted to phrase that, but the amount of money that we have to get the dog, that's going to be our main focus and what we're really going to sink our teeth into. And I just wonder if I can make one point, just for complete transparency, the Friends of Ephrata Police Department, we're not linked to the borough. We're not linked to any. We're totally an independent organization. We don't report to the borough. We don't report to the police department, but we're partners with the borough, and we're partners in supporting the police department. And we've been very blessed. We've been very well received by the Ephrata Borough Council, by their public safety committee, and the council in general. And we've also met with the borough council in Adamstown and the township supervisors in West Cocalico and Ephrata Township as well, and they've thrown their full support and exclaim their support for us and their enthusiasm for us being in existence. So we're excited about that as well, having the support of all the municipalities.
We're the secret. Is it a dog joke?
Yeah, there you go.
That actually brings up a question, Chief. How far? So obviously, Ephrata, there's Ephrata town or city. I don't know. Is Ephrata town? I guess municipality, borough. So how far outside of that? Steve just mentioned Adamstown, and I know Denver's up there, Reamstown. How far do you go? Like, what's the?
Well, if we're talking about just our jurisdiction, we have West Cocalico Township, which goes to the very peak of Lancaster County, where it meets with Berks County and Lebanon County. So we're as far north as you can get. We have Adamstown Borough as well. Those are both contract municipalities where they pay us to come do police work for them.
Okay, so they themselves don't have a police department.
Correct.
You are responsible. Okay,
yeah, that's correct. And then also Ephrata Township is also a contract police department. And they surround the borough. If you look at an eye, what you can see of the eye, the borough is kind of the iris, and the township is the whites around the eye. So, or a football, if you want to call it. That's sort of the rough shape of it. So we cover all of that. There's a total of 33,000 residents in that area, and we have 33 sworn officers to cover those things.
Is that a ratio that's necessary for police force?
That's sort of an old chief once said, adequate police coverage, like beauty, is in the eye of the beholder. Each community decides how many police officers are necessary for its citizenry. As a rule, in Lancaster County, we run a little lean compared to other agencies. There are some that are leaner, but not many. So a canine unit is also acts as a force multiplier too. So the officer, whoever's a handler is always has good backup right away.
Yeah, that makes complete sense. Steve, I think you were mentioning the button that the handler can press to have the dog come out. I mean, I just never knew that something like that exists, but it makes sense that that technology exists and how it would be helpful to use on call. That's amazing. I'd love to see you guys get to those, that fund number as quickly as possible to make that happen. That's awesome.
So we've extended your viewing audience by at least one today, Ben.
Yes.
I wanted to say hello to my mom, Delta Stoner, out in Western Pennsylvania, Bessemer, Pennsylvania. She's listening today eagerly.
Hey, Delta, how are you? I don't. Maybe she's down there. So I don't know if she's going to be the type of person to write in and comment.
No, that's
I know
not going to happen.
my parents often watch, but they're not going to type into the chat unless they surprise me here. But sometimes they watch later, and maybe your mom's watching now, maybe she's watching later. But that's awesome that you're able to give her a shout out there. And where did you say she is? Bessemer?
Bessemer, Pennsylvania is way out in Western Pennsylvania, Lancaster, or Lawrence County, about 3 miles from Ohio.
Okay. Is that where you grew up, or?
Yeah. Yep, that's my home area.
All right. That's cool. Actually, we just had a comment come in from YouTube. Steve DeWeese. I think Steve, you might have mentioned him earlier.
Yeah.
He's asking somebody, I don't know if this is a question for you, Steve or Chris, but what's your favorite color? They want to know.
You can go first, Steve.
Well, I'm going to say
maybe
blue.
It's an inside joke.
Yeah.
Blue, all right.
Yeah. He thinks he's Buddy the Elf.
Yeah.
But no, my favorite color is blue because it's police.
Oh, okay. All right. I like that. Very cool. Well, Steve, thanks for watching. Thanks for commenting. Is there anything else that we haven't touched on related to either the Ephrata Police Department or the Friends of the Ephrata Police Foundation that you'd like, either of you would like to wrap about?
I think we've covered it pretty well. And again, we're excited to get some volunteers. We've just started that recruiting. As a matter of fact, Mr. Deweese there is responsible for helping to get the recruited volunteers for the various committees. So we're going to really put them to the task now. But I wanted to thank Lancaster Connects. You guys are doing a great job of
getting the word out of
Very much so.
important things that are happening in our communities. I recently listened to the human trafficking episode with Brad Hortensi and Zoe International. Now they've got a special place in my heart. Brad used to work with me, and he left the police department to go do child rescue. So what better reason? But you guys covered it really well, and Brad's an excellent storyteller. So that was a match made in heaven.
Yeah. Years ago, and I mean, I think we've been doing the show now 4 years. My partner Jeff and I were talking about, doing a podcast, and like the initial thought is like, we'll do it about mattresses and sleep and health and well-being. And like, well, that's not that interesting. And then we're like, well, what if we like highlight people in the community doing fun things, giving back, helping the community. And we're like, that's a show. That's a show. So we know often, organizations, especially new organizations, you need to get the word out. The community has to know what you're doing and become aware. And of course, this can be an asset for you to use as you wish. You can share it out on Facebook. You'll have the YouTube link. You can get it out there. To spread the word, by all means, use this as you can. But yeah, I appreciate the kind words there, Chief. It's fun to meet new people, learn about what's going on, and share these stories. So I appreciate you guys being on.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I'd like to if I could just say one more thing. We do have some support from other organizations in the community as well. We had met with the Rotary Club. I mentioned that some of the civic organizations, but we also have a number of dog-related organizations that have come out publicly to support us once we get rolling. Now that we're rolling with obtaining a dog, there's one group in particular. I happen to be on their board as well, who is supporting us. A group called Ladies Lending Paws. And that's run by a group of ladies, one of which is Casey Allen, and Casey from WIOV I-105 is on the, she is such a great advocate for dogs. Cindy Mellinger, Cindy was just recently retired from Blue Ridge Communications. She was their community relations manager, has done a phenomenal job with many organizations here in the Ephrata area. And then Lindsay Schutte. So they've come out and they're going to hold some of their own fundraisers to help us to support this acquisition of a dog. So I want to thank them as well.
Yeah, there you go. All right,
there they go.
Man, you got good help in that office there.
Oh my gosh, Chris makes us look phenomenal. I mean, he's got the magic touch. It's definitely not Jeff and I on this end of things.
Wow.
So that's cool. I know, furry animals, specifically dogs, make the ratings go through the roof, and the fundraising typically goes through the roof anytime there's pets or dogs or furry creatures involved. So I feel like you guys are going to get to that number pretty quickly there. So it's awesome to see the community come out and help you guys. It really is.
Yes, we're very appreciative of that.
Great community.
And I would like to echo the Chief's comments too about how great you guys are for doing this. It's phenomenal, the support that you give the community, and you deserve many, many kudos for that. And next time I need a mattress, I'm coming your way.
Hey, that's awesome. It's not the reason why we do it, but that's cool too. That's cool too. Well, guys, it's been great having you on. Thanks for sharing about the Ephrata Police Department and the Friends of the Ephrata Police Foundation. FOEPF.org is the website there. We got social media coming. Of course, the Ephrata Police Department has their own website and social media channels. I've got a couple more questions for each of you. If you've got another maybe 5 minutes or so.
Absolutely.
All right. We do what we call our connection cocktails, guys. There's no drinks. It's just a title we came up with here.
Well, I'm on duty, so I wouldn't be able to do that.
I was going to say you probably can't in uniform.
Not even on St. Patrick's Day, pal.
Yeah, right. Well,
we've got not on duty.
No, you don't.
Yeah, right. We got coffee, so that's it there. So I want to know. We'll start with Chief here. How do you like to unwind? You take off the uniform and you're got a day off. What are you going to do?
Family. I do as much as I can with my family. I've got 3 older kids, 2 that are out of the house, 1 that's in college and soon to graduate, and then I still have a junior in high school at the house. So if I can get some family time, that's good. And
That's awesome.
then I play pool. So I enjoy.
Oh,
I have a pool table at my house. I used to play competitively
yeah.
in the league. So when I get a chance, that's another way to that's a good hobby.
That's cool. That's cool. Steve, how about you? Same question. How do you like to unwind?
Well, I before I retired, I traveled like 44 or 45 weeks out of the year,
Oh, wow.
Monday through Thursday. So I like being home with my wife.
Yeah.
She's a tremendous cook, and she will find me in our basement. I'm a huge train buff, and my
Oh,
entire
okay.
basement is filled with Lionel trains
No
from
way.
back when I was a kid. So,
That's
and
cool.
she shares it. She tolerates my trips to see different train exhibits and shows
Yep.
and stuff. But that's how I unwind. Yes.
That's a fun hobby. So do you let people come into your house to see the displays, or is it kind
No.
of
Yeah. If
your thing?
anybody, yeah. I mean, I don't have it open per se, but anybody that wanted
Okay.
to, I get a number of my friends and they
Yeah, yeah.
do come in every now and again and see it. So yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. Do you get involved in any like local train clubs or anything like that, or like
Uh,
holiday displays or
I don't personally, but I do attend a number of the shows. There's a big
yeah.
train show in York coming up soon, and
Okay.
in Allentown, and so forth. But I don't at this point. I didn't because I was working so much and didn't have
Yeah.
time to dedicate to it. But
Yeah. That's cool. That's cool. Uh Favorite restaurant? Maybe Steve. Steve, you can go first. You have a
Greenfield,
favorite restaurant?
I do Greenfield Restaurant. I really
Okay.
like
Yep.
great food, great chef, another chef. He used to be
Oh,
a
cool.
chef in the White House at one point. So
Oh, wow. Okay.
yeah,
Fine.
John. Yeah, he does a great food's great there.
Do you have a favorite dish there?
Yeah, I like their filet. Their filet
Okay.
is
Yeah,
second to none, I think.
you can't go wrong with the filet, but yeah, I
No,
mean a filet made by a dude who was the chef at the White House.
yeah, yeah,
That sounds really good.
yeah, yeah.
How about you, Chief?
Well, for a quick meal, I'll run to the deck if
Okay.
one of our board members is
Yep.
part of the deck. So
Yep.
if I want to do something a little more sit down and a really really good burger is the Lincoln House in Ephrata.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. And what's your go-to at the lunch spot, the deck? Do you have
Oh, just about anything. I don't think you can go wrong.
a okay?
Mm.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Very
yeah,
good.
great place.
Very good. Well, thanks for playing along, guys,
Well,
on the
thank you.
Connection Cocktail.
Thank
And
you.
again, thanks for being on the show. Thanks for sharing about the great work that the Ephrata Police Department and the newly formed Friends of the Ephrata Police Foundation are doing. Again, FOEF.
Yeah.
Before
Yeah.
F, it just read it there on the screen.
Okay.
FOEPF.org. If you'd like to be a volunteer, check out the website, fill out the simple form that's on there. Definitely could use some volunteers and donations as well. And guys, good luck with the upcoming fundraisers and things that you've got going on from an awareness standpoint in the summer. Love to see you guys get that K9 officer really, really quickly. That'd be cool.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Yeah.
your time.
Yes, thank you.
Yep. Yep. Have a great afternoon, guys.
You too.
Yep. Thanks. Oh man, that was a fun chat. That was a fun chat. You know, I've been through Ephrata a number of times, but I've never lived in Ephrata, so I've never really had to interact with the Ephrata Police Department. But it's really cool to see how this foundation has formed to support the police department. You know, like every organization out there has to have a budget, but you know, sometimes the budget isn't able to handle everything that the business or organization needs. You know, we see it at Gardeners. We see it. You know, I think every organization can say that. So it's really cool that this group of volunteers, now called the Friends of the Ephrata Police Foundation, has formed to raise awareness, kind of be that marketing gap, I think Steve said, between the community and the police department, and to raise funds for those extra projects and supplies that the police department really could use to benefit the community. Because really, that's what the police are there for, is to keep the community safe and support the community. And it's cool that this group of volunteers, you know, take their time and effort to support that organization. So really cool hearing those stories. Again, if you'd like to be a guest on Lancaster Connects, we'd love to tell your story as well. If you're a nonprofit, charitable organization, community benefit organization, giving back to the Lancaster community, or a small business that has an angle to give back, we'd love to tell those stories. LancasterConnects.com/guest. Fill out the simple form there. Tell us why you'd be a good fit to be on the show, and we'll get you scheduled. Like I said, we're booked through May, but man, we're looking for some great guests for the summer. We'll wrap up the show here. Again, Lancaster Connects is brought to you by Gardner's Mattress and More, the business that I co-own with my business partner, Jeff. Usually towards the end of the show, we talk or we highlight some customers that have come in and now they're waking up happy every morning. We have a little testimonial time here. We get testimonials, of course, electronically. Google, Facebook, sometimes people email testimonials to us, but we also give testimonial forms on delivery. Our delivery crew gives a little envelope of information, a coupon, a thank you letter, but also a testimonial form. And we get people that handwrite their testimonials and put it in an envelope, stamp it, and throw it in the mail. So, it's cool to see people use good old snail mail. Anyway, we had a few testimonials come in here, and they all had a similar theme to them. So Victoria said, we were excellent from the sale to the delivery. She called out the delivery team there. I would refer anyone needing a mattress to your store. The delivery team was professional and very polite. So that was number 2 there. And this one I just opened up today. I keep saying I'm going to open these live on camera, and I forget to, so maybe next time. But P.S., the 2 gentlemen who delivered the mattress were courteous and very kind. They deserve a high five too. So, boom, high five to our awesome team here at Gardner's delivery and service team, Sean Landis and John Lefevre. They've been with us each for over a year now. They work so well together. They work well with our team, the rest of our team here at Gardner's. And they just have a passion for giving our customers a great experience in the home. In fact, my in-laws just got a new bed a week or 2 ago. I think they were delivered, and my father-in-law sent back one of these and highlighted the delivery team as well. So, thank you, Sean. Thank you, John, for the hard work that you do. And it's the delivery of a mattress is the last experience typically that a consumer is going to have with our business from that transaction standpoint. If you're in the market for a mattress, you might visit a website, get some information, see what the business is all about, visit the store, you'll meet the sales team, maybe you see Jeff and I here, that sort of thing, make a purchase. But then, the last kind of leg of that transaction is the delivery team. So it's great to know that we have a crew that treats our customers with respect and just really goes above and beyond to give them our customers a great experience. So thank you to those guys, and thank you to our customers for trusting their sleep to us. It's what I feel, excel at. 15-time Reader's Choice favorite mattress store in Lancaster County. So something we're quite proud of, but something we also work very, very hard at every year. Every day, we're re-earning that award. So again, thank you to our customers, and thank you to the great team here at Gardner's Mattress and More. That's a show. We've got, again, a great run of shows coming up here through, as we kind of wrap up winter and creep into spring. We've seen hints of spring outside. I know today is maybe a little gray, but tomorrow's supposed to be beautiful again. And I know we're kind of coming up here to spring. I know there's a lot of people around here done with winter and ready for spring to start. So got some great shows coming up. Definitely tune in. 2:00, Lancaster Connects, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, or Gardner's Mattress and More social channels. You'll see us there as well. Love for you to join us every 2:00 every Monday here on Lancaster Connects. Again, thanks for watching. I hope everybody has a nice afternoon, and we'll see you on the next connection.